Let's talk about studying and creating art. Hi, my name is Orda. You might know me from Instagram as the founder of Fundamentalist Online Art School, where I teach students figure drawing with a focus on form and structure. Throughout my artistic career and my years of teaching, I noticed a phenomenon. For some students, the more they focus on studying the figure, anatomy, form and structure, the more their creativity seems to take a back seat. I always encourage them to keep up with their personal work, to keep sketching, keep creating. So with this video, I wanted to explore the idea, the differences between studying and expressing ourselves. So right after a Sunday live class where I taught the students the neck and shoulder muscles, I sat down just to doodle, just to create something for myself from nothing, from my imagination. I didn't have any idea of what was going to happen. I did know that I was going to draw some kind of a character. I wanted to make it entirely from imagination, but still have solid form and structure. So here I'm beginning to define the face with the side plane already shown, and then I'm building down towards the neck and then up the top. The reason why I have such a big structure up top is because I wanted to make it somewhat unbalanced, not a regular person, but someone with a big elaborate headgear. That's all I knew at this point. I didn't know what he was going to develop into, but I wanted to play with the shapes, box-like headgear, and then the round of the head. Because I was teaching anatomy of the clavicle shoulder area, here I'm trying to utilize a bit of that while it's fresh to try to build the neck and then the shoulder area. The sternocleido, the clavicles are drawn in. That'll help me to put in the deltoid and then the trapezius. So speeding up a little bit here. I actually tried a few times to get the shoulder area looking good. By this point, I kind of had an idea how this was going to be some kind of a cyberpunk or post-apocalyptic person, modified in some ways, a bit surreal, and entirely from imagination. So some of the parts are replaced by robotic or mechanical components. As I do more and more, I'm figuring out the little details, little gadgets or designs that's going to go onto the robotic part of this character. I wasn't sure what to make of the facial features, or I should say facial expression, for a while. I didn't want to make it too happy, and this is going to change. So here the sternum is being drawn in, or I should say it's kind of like a breastplate inspired by the sternum, again because of anatomy. So that's something that we can all utilize in our own practice. So anatomy, the organic anatomy of the human body, can inspire other shapes, other components that we can add on to our creations from imagination. So the boxy headgears define more and more now. A lot of elaborate moving parts are being added in. This is entirely from imagination, so I didn't have any references or any research, but an understanding of, let's say, engines or mechanical design, industrial design is going to help. Here I'm redoing the nose because the form of it just wasn't satisfactory. So I'm going back in to define all the planes to make them as good as possible. That's the only way to be sure of the accuracy. Occasionally I get questions like, why should I bother learning all the form and structure stuff? Anatomy. It seems very boring, it seems very difficult and time consuming, and most importantly, it just doesn't look creative. It's not what I want to do. That is a valid question and a valid concern. Because for most people, unless they're trying to get a job in a specific industry, like becoming an illustrator, a designer, or work in the film industry, for example, they just want to draw for fun and to express themselves visually. If you're one of those people and you look at the form and structure stuff and think to yourself, this is really not necessary and it's not artistic. I also want to use this opportunity to clarify the difference between studying and creating. So those two are not the same. One is supposed to serve the other. And obviously, studying should be serving creativity in this case. So I just want to quickly explain what's going through my mind as this doodle, this sketch develops. As the figure or this character started to take shape, my mind began to wonder about recent events and what is happening in this world right now. And I think that's a natural way to inject some meaning and feeling to your artworks, even if it's just a simple sketch. I started thinking about how the digital world is affecting every aspect of life now. Everything we think about, we experience and see seems to be influenced by things that are not in our control. Technology is embedded in everything we do, sometimes for better and sometimes for not so good reasons. As I was drawing more and more lines, I kept thinking about the words brave new world. The brave new world as in how we are evolving and in a sense being modified by technology already. Of course, what you see on the paper is an exaggeration. I wanted to give meaning to this sketch, but I still wanted to keep it fun and spontaneous. If you liked this video, you know what to do. I'll also include a link down below to my website where you can learn more about myself and my classes. See you in the next one.